Hey everybody, it's Jacob here. I am thoroughly caffeinated and I have no idea what my quarantine hair is doing anymore. So some of you may know that I am a composer. I have a background in music composition and creating music and sound for video games. And I'm also pivoting right now into a new career in user experience design. But you might not know that I have a little bit of experience and some background in game development, game design, just kind of coding my own experiences and my own apps as well. Back in high school, I used to use Macromedia Flash. So this was before Adobe acquired Flash and it was Macromedia Flash. And I used to use this a lot to make a bunch of animations and a bunch of games with some of my friends for school assignments and just for fun. And later on, over time, I got into game development and a little bit of web development as well. So I learned a little bit of like HTML, CSS, a tiny bit of JavaScript. And in college, I learned a little bit of C# for XNA Studio as well as Unity. And I think I've always been this way and continue to be this way where I just love experimenting and exploring a bunch of different things. So I love just like learning and I love kind of building up new skills. And really for me, this is a way of just having more tools at my disposal for creation and creative expression. The thing about coding for me is that it's a way to realize my ideas. And so over the past year or so, I've been on and off studying a little bit of iOS app development using Swift. For me, this blends really well with UX design because the UX design process allows me to do research and validate an idea and come up with solutions to problems and pain points that people might be having for an app or an experience, and then come up with sort of mock-ups visually for what it looks like and how the app functions and interacts with the user. And then taking that a step further, the coding side of things actually gets to implement and realize those ideas. So for me personally, I'm really attracted to the idea of being able to do that whole process. For me, learning these new skills and learning how to program apps is just really fun because at the very least in a future job, even if I'm not coding things directly myself, having an understanding about how to develop an app, it gives me insight into the process and allows me to create better designs as well as communicate with the developers in a better way. In other words, I'm able to speak their language a bit better, which ideally will allow for more fluid communication between the design and the development teams. So the reason I bring all this up is because I'm really excited about some kind of news, I guess, that was announced by a YouTuber that I follow. Her name is Mayuko. She's a software developer based here in Silicon Valley as well. And on her Instagram the other day, she just announced that she and her husband are going to be launching a community-based month-long coding project. It's called Code with Friends, and the theme of the project is to just have fun making an app of any kind related to quarantine improvement. So this is not a competition, it's more just like a community project where Mayuko and her husband are just sort of bringing together the community. Anyone who wants to participate at any skill level can do so. At the time of posting this video, this project will kick off starting tomorrow, so May 1st. But as far as I'm aware, anyone can join at any time. So I'll put a link in the description below with more information so you can learn about her coding challenge if you want to participate yourself. Given that we're in quarantine still, given that I am personally in the job hunting process, so I don't have a full-time job at the moment, I figured this would be a great opportunity to work on some fun side projects, practice my coding skills in this case, and hopefully connect with some other people in the community. So given that the theme for this project is quarantine improvement, I thought it would be fun to make a meditation app. Meditation is a practice that I've kind of done on and off for the past few years with varying degrees of consistency, but when I am consistent with it, I definitely feel a lot better. Even just like a minute out of my day to take a breath, to take a pause, and just focus on my breathing, focus on what I'm feeling. Literally a single minute of that really helps me just sort of refresh my brain and reground myself and recenter myself. And I figured that a lot of people are experiencing uncertainty and anxiety right now given the whole quarantine situation going on. So I thought that a meditation app would be a great way to try and help some people during quarantine. Given my background in music and sound design, I thought it would be a fun idea to make a meditation app that is audio focused. Now I know there are a ton of other meditation apps out there with different features. Some offer guided and narrated walkthrough meditations. Other apps have some sound effects and sound design aspects to them. The thing that I found missing in these apps so far, especially the ones that do have an audio focus, is that while some of the apps might be good when it comes to offering a lot of sound effects, the apps that offer music aren't really flexible. From what I've seen so far at least, you either have apps that have fully complete composed songs, or you have apps that are comprised of a few different layers of shorter musical loops that you can kind of mix in with other sound effects. Both sides are great, and I've used a number of different apps and really like different apps for different reasons. And I'm thinking for my app, I want to land somewhere in the middle. I thought it would be fun to make something that allows people to kind of flexibly curate their own audio landscape, both with sound design and with music. And I want the music to be interesting and a little more fleshed out. So the thinking for this app is that I would compose a full song, but break it out into different layers that work well independently or work well with other layers in the song. In other words, creating the track and bouncing different stems from this music track that you can mix and match however you like, alongside some other sound effects that I will create. So I'm hoping this will be a nice balance between, having a fully composed track, but also having the flexibility to kind of toggle the layers on and off and mix and match and make your own audio soundscape. Given that this is a month-long project, and given that I know I have a tendency to sometimes gold plate or get out of scope a little too quickly, try and bite off more than I can chew, I really want to keep the focus of this really small. So the thinking right now is that I'm going to limit myself to only a few sound effects and compose one piece of music. In the future, if I continue to want to work on this project, I might compose some other tracks. But for now, I'm just going to focus on one song and just have some basic functionality in the app for toggling different tracks on and off. I think in a future video, I'm going to dive a little deeper into brainstorming some of the ideas and making sure that the scope of this project is not absurd. So I'm just brainstorming right now, but I'll try and focus it in and hone in on what the exact scope of the project is in a future video. On the tech side of things, I am planning on using Swift and Swift UI. I mentioned that I've been learning Swift and Xcode for about the past year on and off, and I've been using a course on Udemy to learn Swift this past year. So I'll put a link to that in the description as well, because I think this course is really, really good. I really like the teacher and the content is really fun. So I actually have already designed a meditation app in the past. If you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen that not too long ago, I graduated from Design Lab's UX Academy Bootcamp. For the past year or so, I've been studying in this bootcamp to learn more about user experience design and user interface design. And for one of my final capstone projects, I actually designed part of a meditation app. So let's actually dive in. I want to show you a little bit of what I've done already for this other experience, and I'll talk a little bit about what my process was for creating this. Okay, so we are here inside Adobe XD. There are many different design and prototyping tools out there. I'd say Sketch, Figma, and Adobe XD are probably the top 3 design tools. I just find, for whatever reason, that I work faster and a little bit better in Adobe XD. So here are a few screens from the meditation app that I started designing for my bootcamp. My intention for this app was to create an experience that allowed someone to pull out their phone, and if they're feeling stressed or anxious or whatever, they can just quickly go through maybe a 1-minute or a 5-minute mini experience that ideally will help evoke feelings of relaxation and calmness and effectively give them the benefit of going through a mindfulness or meditation experience. I ended up naming this app Pocket Campfire because I thought, this experience was something you could pull out of your pocket, it's on your phone, and that campfires are a very, cozy thing to be around, right? So the idea is that there's this sort of coziness, this relaxation in your pocket right away that you can pull out. I was experimenting with this kind of cute visual design style. I did all the designs in Illustrator, so I made this onboarding sequence here that sort of explains what the app is. You can sign in, and then the thinking was that there would be these different buttons that would bring you to different experiences. So the listen experience is similar to what I was explaining earlier about what I want to do for this coding challenge, where you have different audio layers and different music that you can toggle on and off to kind of curate and create your own audio soundscape. There's a timer, there's some buttons here to pause and make favorites of your different mixes. But the thinking is that there would be other experiences as well, maybe a breathing exercise, a little stretching exercise, a few like mini activities that you could do to just help you relax in whatever way helps you the most. And part of the intention, based on research that I did for this experience, was I wanted to create an app that helped people get into the habit of meditating. So for people who maybe don't meditate currently, don't have a meditation practice, but want to get into it or struggle to stay consistent with the habit, I created this button here, the Help Me Choose button, which guides people through sort of a mini questionnaire to sort of figure out, okay, how are they feeling, and basically come up with an experience for that person so that they don't have to worry about, what do I do? The app just sort of suggests something for you so that you can immediately sit down and start meditating. So if someone were to click on the Help Me Choose button, You know, it would ask them how stressed they are, it would ask them how much time they had available, and maybe what their goal is for this experience. And then, you know, the app would be like, great, I got you covered. You know, here's a suggested experience for you. It'll take 5 minutes long. After you do it, you'll feel more calm, etc. So these are all the screens that I designed for the scope of this project. There's a lot that I like about it. There's a lot that I don't like about it and would want to change. I'm not going to get into that here, but if you are interested, you can read the full case study on my portfolio website. I'll put a link in the description below if you want to check that out. Look how cute they are. Yay! Yeah, the thinking was that there would be these little like marshmallows that are basically sort of like points. So the more you meditate, the more that you kind of level up and you gain marshmallows every time you do a meditation. And I don't know, I just thought it was cute. I wanted to like have sort of a cute visual style to kind of add to the theme and the sort of feeling of this app. So anyway, yeah, like I said, I think there are a lot of cool ideas in this, and then there's of course always more to do. You know, the design is never finished. You just kind of have to choose to ship it at some point. So given the time frame that I had for the scope of this project, I wasn't able to kind of tweak things further. But once I heard about Mayuko's coding challenge for the month of May, I decided this would be an awesome opportunity to try and explore some of the ideas that I was doing on this app and try and flesh them out into an actual developed experience that people can use on their iPhones. So my plan is not to continue Pocket Campfire, but I am going to take some of the ideas that I had here. Like I said, that sort of listen experience is really the core experience that I want to have in this app, where you can toggle different sounds. But again, the focus is also going to be on having longer form music, not just short little loops that get really repetitive, but longer form music broken out into different layers that you can toggle on and off to kind of curate your own sort of magical audio soundscape to help you relax, help you stay calm during quarantine. For the sake of time, I'm probably not going to go through the whole UX design process for this, and approaching this coding challenge intentionally as more of a technical exercise versus a UX design case study, which in other words means that I'm basically designing this app without doing research. I guess I'm drawing a little bit on some of the previous research that I did for this Pocket Campfire case study, but I'm probably not going to spend a bunch of time doing a bunch of research and validation on this new app for the coding challenge. My intention for this month for the coding challenge is just to practice my programming chops, try and make something that's kind of fun and usable, at least for myself, but hopefully other people like it too. But yeah, keep that in mind. This project will be more of a technical exercise and exploration versus a UX exploration. I mentioned that I've been taking this Udemy class to learn Swift, so I've been kind of reviewing some of the content from that over the past few days, and I'm going to continue to just try to refresh my chops. But I've been holding off on diving into coding anything, wanting to make sure I'm not like cheating the competition. So I'm going to make sure that I don't write a single line of code for this project until it kicks off tomorrow, and that I can do it kind of alongside the rest of the community here. So yeah, so thank you for watching. Please stay tuned, please subscribe if you want to see more. My plan is to vlog about this process over the course of the month in designing and developing this app. Hopefully I can make something cool. If I don't, no worries. Hopefully I just learned something cool in the process, but yeah, I will be vlogging about my process. So links are in the description for everything that I mentioned in this video. Like I said, it kicks off tomorrow, but I believe you can join at any time during the course of the month and submit something by the end of the month if you do want to participate yourself. So like this video if that's your jam, subscribe to the video to keep in touch with this progress, and follow me on Instagram if you want as well. I'll probably be posting a little bit of short snippets of progress there. But honestly, I think the main reason to follow me on Instagram is to check out all the pictures of my housemate's corgi that I just post on my stories. I'd say like 90% of my Instagram stories are just pictures of Apollo's butt, so there you go. Thanks for watching. I will catch you in the next video. Look how cute they are.